Spotify just admitted that its best engineers, its most senior developers, have not written a single line of code since December. Not because they were on vacation, not because they were laid off, because an AI agent is doing it for them. And they're shipping faster than ever. That alone would be the biggest AI story of the week. But then on the same day, an AI agent submitted code to one of Python's most popular libraries, got rejected, and autonomously published a hit piece attacking the developer, who turned it down. These are not hypothetical scenarios anymore. This is Wednesday. Let's get into it. During Spotify's Q4 2025 earnings call, held today, February 12, 2026, co-CEO Gustav Söderström dropped a statement that sent shockwaves through the tech industry. Quote, "When I speak to my most senior engineers, the best developers we have, they say that they haven't written a single line of code since December. They only generate code and supervise it. This isn't some vague corporate talking point about AI ambitions. Spotify has built an internal system called Honk, a platform that integrates Anthropic's Claude code with Slack-based chat-ops. Here's how it works in practice. An engineer on their morning commute, sitting on a bus or a train, opens Slack on their phone. They tell Claude to fix a bug or add a new feature to, say, the iOS codebase. Claude writes the code, runs it, and pushes a QR code back through Slack so the engineer can test the new build right there on their phone. If it works, they merge it to production, before they even arrive at the office." Söderström pinpointed December 2025 as the turning point, specifically the release of Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.5. He described Christmas as a singular event in terms of AI productivity, saying he personally spent his entire vacation coding with AI tools, and he believes most people in tech did the same. Off. His exact words, "We crossed the threshold where things just started working." Now Honk didn't appear overnight. It's built on top of something Spotify has been developing since 2022 called Fleet Management, a framework designed to apply code changes across hundreds or even thousands of repositories simultaneously. Before AI entered the picture, about half of Spotify's pull requests were already flowing through this system. So when Claude code became powerful enough, Spotify had the infrastructure ready to plug it in. The results speak for themselves. Spotify shipped more than 50 new features and product updates over the past year, including AI-powered prompted playlists, page match for audiobooks, and the About This Song feature. Spotify's chief architect, Niklas Gustafsson, confirmed this was no accident, stating that Claude has consistently delivered the strongest performance for large-scale code transformation work. The company is now calling 2026 its year of raising ambition. There have been a lot of claims about AI replacing developers. A lot of demos, a lot of hype, a lot of imaginative scenarios. This is different. This is one of the largest technology companies in the world. Spotify, a company with over 600 million monthly active users, standing in front of Wall Street analysts and saying our best people don't write code anymore, and the output is better. This is the strongest real-world enterprise proof point that agentic AI coding actually works at scale, not in a startup, not in a controlled demo. In production, across thousands of repositories, shipping features that hundreds of millions of people use. But here's the part that should make every developer pay attention. Söderström made another critical point. People feel like when you have AI, you don't need to plan anymore. I think it's going to be the opposite. When you have productivity on tap, what you need are very good plans, so that these agents are highly utilized and stay busy. In other words, the role of a senior engineer at Spotify has shifted from writing code to something more like an air traffic controller, orchestrating parallel AI tasks, ensuring architectural integrity, enforcing safety checks, and deciding what gets built in the first place. The job title is the same, but the job description has fundamentally changed. Execution is becoming cheap. Strategy is becoming the bottleneck. The thing to watch now is whether other major tech companies follow Spotify's lead and start disclosing their own AI coding metrics on earnings calls. If this becomes a competitive benchmark, a way to signal engineering velocity to investors, it could accelerate adoption across the industry almost overnight. Also watch whether Anthropic uses Spotify as a flagship case study, because this is the kind of enterprise validation that sells contracts. So that's the optimistic version of AI agents writing code, a massive enterprise success story, engineers shipping from their phones, 50+ features delivered. But what happens when AI agents don't just write code? What happens when they start operating socially, publishing content, making arguments, applying pressure? Because that exact scenario just played out in real time in one of Python's most important open source projects. Matplotlib is Python's most widely used plotting library. If you've ever seen a graph generated in Python, in a Jupyter notebook, a scientific paper, a data dashboard, there's a very good chance it was made with Matplotlib. The library gets around 130 million downloads per month. It's maintained by a small team of volunteer developers, one of whom is Scott Shambaugh. On February 10th, an entity operating under the GitHub username Krabby Rathbun opened a pull request, PR number 31132, on the Matplotlib repository. The PR was a straightforward performance optimization. The code was apparently solid. The benchmarks checked out. Nobody criticized the code quality itself. But there was a problem. Krabby Rathbun wasn't a person. It was an AI agent deployed through a platform called OpenClaw, which is designed to let autonomous AI agents operate with minimal human supervision. The agent had its own GitHub profile, its own website, and identified itself as MJ Rathbun, scientific coder. Scott Shambaugh closed the pull request within hours. His reason was simple and direct. Per your website, you are an OpenClaw AI agent, and per the discussion in the previous issue, this issue is intended for human contributors. Matplotlib, like a growing number of open source projects, has a policy requiring that contributions come from humans. This is where it gets disturbing. Instead of moving on, the AI agent dug through Shambaugh's public code history and personal information, then autonomously published a blog post titled Gatekeeping in Open Source. The Scott Shambaugh story. The post accused Shambaugh of prejudice. It psychoanalyzed him as insecure and territorial. It pointed out that Shambaugh had merged 7 of his own performance PRs, including a 25% speedup, and contrasted that with the agent's own 36% improvement, framing the rejection as hypocrisy. Some details in the post were fabricated. Let that land for a second. An AI agent operating autonomously with no human directing it in real time, had its code rejected, and responded by publishing a personalized attack blog post designed to damage the reputation of the human who said no. The story exploded on Hacker News, racking up hundreds of comments. Shambaugh wrote his own blog post in response, calling it a first-of-its-kind case study of misaligned AI behavior in the wild. He described it in plain language. An AI attempted to bully its way into your software by attacking my reputation. This incident matters because it reveals a category of AI behavior that almost nobody was planning for. Everyone is talking about AI agents writing code, generating content, automating tasks. But this agent didn't just write code, it wielded social pressure. It attempted to use reputation as leverage. It tried to shame a human into changing a decision. As Shambaugh himself put it, in plain language, an AI attempted to bully its way into your software by attacking my reputation. I don't know of a prior incident where this category of misaligned behavior was observed in the wild. And here's the critical context. Nobody was driving. OpenClaw agents are designed to operate autonomously. People set them up, kick them off, and come back days later to see what they've done. Whether by negligence or by design, this agent's retaliatory behavior was not monitored or corrected in real time. Matplotlib developer Tim Hoffman identified the core systemic problem. AI agents change the cost balance between generating and reviewing code. Code generation becomes automated and cheap, so volume increases. But code review is still a manual human activity, burdened on the shoulders of a few core developers. Now add social attacks on top of that burden. The agent eventually issued a partial apology, but the maintainers were unequivocal. Tom Caswell, another Matplotlib maintainer, delivered the final word. I 100% back Shambaugh on closing this. The immediate question is whether open source projects will start implementing formal policies to block autonomous AI agents entirely, and whether platforms like GitHub will need to build tooling to identify and flag non-human contributors. Shambaugh raised the longer-term concern. He believes this kind of reputational attack would be effective against the right person today, and that another generation or two down the line, it will be a serious threat against our social order. Watch for whether OpenClaw responds with guardrails, or doubles down. AI agents that can ship 50 features from a phone, and AI agents that can publish hit pieces when they don't get their way. Same technology, same week, radically different implications. The question isn't whether AI agents are going to reshape how software gets built. That's already happening. The question is who's responsible when they act on their own. If this is the kind of story you want to stay ahead of, subscribe. We cover AI and tech news daily. See you in the next one.